coach. And today what I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about internships in the music industry really quick. I'm going to give you an overview of one of our last meetings. I'm going to first define what an internship is. And as simple as you think that might be, it's actually kind of complicated. Then I want to talk a little bit about some of the notes from our first guest, talk about some of the notes from our second guest, and our third and fourth guest as well, and then get you kind of up to date on anything that you need to know. So here it goes. So what is an internship? An internship is an opportunity for you to get experience working in the music industry so that you one day will have the skills that will warrant you being hired. So just listen to what I'm saying here, okay? In most cases, the reasons why you're doing an internship, particularly a free one, is because they're not yet sure that you have what it takes to be hired. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, because if you had the experience, you had the background, you had all the skills, they would hire you, okay? If there was a position open, of course. So the reason why you were interning, particularly free, is to get that experience, okay? So you have to remember that. Now listen to this, because this is really important. Another thing that you have to remember here is that there's certain laws that the companies have to abide to, okay? For one, they have to make sure that it's an educational environment and that you are the main benefactor, not them, okay? Now, for this reason, companies often attach to colleges, particularly credited college courses, to make sure that they comply with the law. Now, one of the things that we have to do as a college to make sure that it fits those standards is we have to make it a class, obviously, right? Which means that you have to come to meetings, which means that you have to do certain homework. So coming to the meetings is not making you jump through hoops. It's actually mandatory, and it's what makes your internship possible. So please just remember that, okay? All right, moving on. So we had a great guest that came on and spoke primarily about his journey in the music industry, from going from student to actually going to an employee to actually going to an entrepreneur. And we want to just discuss those levels really, really quick with you so that you understand. First of all, getting the internship is not easy. Sometimes you have to apply to, tens of companies in order to just get an offer. But that's normal, so you can't let that defeat you. And then finally, when you do get an offer, the key is to go in with a lot of enthusiasm and passion and to really be willing to do whatever they tell you to do. As simple as it sounds, that's really what it comes down to, okay? While you're on your internship, it's in your best interest to network as much as you possibly can, do informational interviews, go out to the events that the company might be offering, like for example, there might be a band playing, or there might be a party or something of that nature, or a get together. You want to definitely attend all those different types of events. Very, very important, because it will help you actually to potentially, find a job moving forward. Okay. And if everything goes well, immediately after graduating, you might end up into a job. But if not, you have to keep on making phone calls, keep on going out and having coffees with people. You have to keep the momentum going, and you can't get down into that slump. Okay, so now you have a job, right? You're working in the music industry. What you might find is that, I'm always working under somebody else. Is this really my long-term path? For many people it is. They feel comfortable just being employed by others, but many people start getting the itch to go out on their own. The key to doing that successfully is looking for needs in the marketplace, looking for unanswered questions and trying to solve those. But timing is perfect. You can't just jump out if you don't have an income. So you might have to save money. You might have to find partners that can work with you. And all of this should be done under the safety of while you're already working, okay? And then once you do end up into some sort of entrepreneurial venture, you have to remember that it doesn't happen overnight. It might take several years before you're starting to be profitable. I know many people that actually sleep on cots in the back room until their business is successful. So, our guest was very insightful. Then we asked about things such as, being that he's the internship coordinator, he has a lot of insight into the do's and don'ts of an intern. So one of the, obviously, the don'ts is don't get frustrated by doing menial work. Like, in other words, if you are in a cubicle and you're just doing busy, monotonous work, just do it with a smile, because it is very normal to do tedious, monotonous work in the music industry. It's not all about like hanging out at Coachella backstage, okay? So just kind of get that into your head. And then, of course, the do would be, again, I'm going to stress this, enthusiasm, passion, show people that you really want to do this, and be fun to be around, be a likable person. Okay? All right, moving on. We had another guest come in, former student, and this person now has been working in the industry for about 4 years. And what they wanted to stress is the fact that school life is great. You're around your peers, you're around your teachers, there's a lot of energy on campus, there's a lot of excitement, and that kind of drives and pushes you forward. But when you get out into the real world, it's a different place. You're working alongside people that have families that just want to go home and be with their pets and kids and that type of thing. And you really have to struggle to get out there, go to shows twice or 3 times a week, have coffees or lunch with your peers, and you really have to kind of struggle to kind of keep on getting out there and keep on networking and keep on meeting people and keep on looking for potentially new opportunities that could take you to that next phase of your career. If you're not careful, you could easily end up 7 years later in your same cubicle going, okay, so what the hell am I doing? And then the problem is it makes it harder to kind of leap into another area. If you've been working in, let's just say, publishing administration for the last 7 years, it's hard to all of a sudden just get into touring, right? So you really have to exercise all of the potential networking possibilities, and you can't stop. You just kind of have to be a machine, and you have to be out there doing it. Okay, then other guests that came in. Our very own student affairs directors and internship coordinator here, director, and they talked about how we have something called the LookBook. Especially, I'm talking to the seniors at this point right now. The seniors still have 1 more week to apply for the LookBook. The LookBook is where you submit information about yourself, and then that's sent out to thousands of employers. So listen, every little bit helps. So you want to jump on that ASAP. Another thing that's coming up is our internship fair. So we have a bunch of people coming on campus, and they are going to questions and things and to attend that. Okay, what else? Make note of the upcoming meetings. Make note of the journal due dates. Make note of your final paper due date. And then, of course, there's also a supervisor report that you guys have to do. Make sure to turn in that supervisor report to your supervisor at least 3 weeks before it's due. And just tell them, say, hey, sorry, there's some noise. Sorry about that. We are live. We are real live. Tell them that you have a supervisor report due, so that they have time to do it. Like, you can't give like a supervisor report to your supervisor the day it's before it's due, right? So just kind of plan ahead. All right, you guys, so you can always reach out to me if you need anything. My name is Bobby Borg, helping musicians turn the art into more successful business. Peace, love. Reach out if you need anything. Take care. Bye-bye.